In July 1977, New York City went dark for 25 hours. By hour 6, over 1,600 stores had been broken into. Most of it was done by people who lived 3 blocks away. That is what 25 hours does to a city. Now stretch that to 90 days. Number 17 on this list is the reason most preppers die with a full pantry. Number 4 was standard American civil defense advice in 1962, and it got quietly deleted. Hit that subscribe button. Let us count down the 25 forgotten survival rules for the first 90 days. Number 25. There are already 40 gallons of water in your house. The lights go out. Everyone runs for the store. Meanwhile, you're standing 8 feet from more drinking water than you can carry. Your water heater holds 40 to 50 gallons of clean, potable water. It has sat there your entire adult life. There is a drain valve at the bottom. You need a garden hose and 4 minutes. Turn off the gas or the breaker first so the element does not fire on an empty tank, then open a hot tap upstairs to break the vacuum. But here is the part almost nobody does in time. Shut off the main valve where water enters the house. When the grid drops, municipal pressure falls, and when pressure falls, contamination gets pulled backward into the lines. Close that valve and everything already in your pipe stays yours and stays clean. Wait an hour and it might not be. Number 24. The first hour is the whole game. Everything you do in the first 60 minutes is worth 10 times what you do on day 3. In the first hour, water still comes out of the tap. Roads still move. Nobody has panicked because the average American assumes the power will be back before dinner. Fill the bathtub. Fill both bathtubs. Fill every pot, pitcher, cooler, and bucket in the garage, the washing machine drum, the kids' waiting pool. A standard tub holds around 40 gallons. That water is not for drinking. That is your toilet water, your dishwater, your wound cleaning water, every drop of it, a drop of clean supply you did not waste on flushing. In Texas, in February 2021, people who filled tubs in the first hour still had sanitation on day 5. People who waited until the tap sputtered were melting snow in soup pots. Same storm, same street, 1 hour apart. Number 23. Eat in the right order or you eat the loss. There is an order to the food in your house, and almost nobody follows it, because when you are scared, you reach for the cans first. That is exactly backward. The refrigerator goes first. An unopened fridge holds safe temperature for about 4 hours. So the first meal after the grid drops is not rice and beans. It is everything perishable cooked together right now. The milk, the deli meat, the eggs, the leftovers. That is a feast on night 1, and a feast feels wrong in an emergency. Do it anyway. The freezer goes second. 2 days if it is packed full, 1 if it is half empty. The pantry goes third. Rice, pasta, cans, flour. Your long-term stores go last. The families who ate their rice on night 1 threw away 60 pounds of thawed meat on day 3 and never understood why they ran out early. Number 22. Keep the door shut. This sounds too simple to be a rule. It decides whether you get 48 hours out of your freezer or 12. A full freezer holds temperature roughly 48 hours unopened. Half full, about 24. Every time you open that door, you dump cold air onto the kitchen floor and pull in warm room air. 4 openings on day 1 can cost an entire day of margin, so you write the inventory on masking tape and stick it to the outside of the door. Open once, take everything for the day, close, 10 seconds. Then pack the empty space with jugs of water frozen ahead of time, or bags of ice, or crumpled newspaper. Thermal mass holds cold, and air does not. Your grandmother knew this in her bones because her icebox was a box with ice in it, and every second that door hung open was money running onto the linoleum. Number 21, never burn indoors what was not built to burn indoors. This is the one that actually kills Americans, fast and quietly. In February 2021, Winter Storm Uri killed 246 people in Texas by the state's own count. Hypothermia led. Right behind it was carbon monoxide. Harris County emergency rooms saw hundreds of poisoning cases in days. People ran generators in attached garages with the door cracked. People brought charcoal grills into living rooms. People idled cars in carports. People used gas ovens as space heaters. Everyone is lethal, and here is why it fools smart people. Carbon monoxide has no smell, no color, no taste, and the first symptoms, headache, dizziness, nausea, feel exactly like being cold, scared, and exhausted. So you lie down, and you do not get up. Generators go outdoors 20 feet minimum, pointed away from every window. Charcoal is outdoors, always. A gas oven is not a furnace. A battery-powered carbon monoxide detector costs about $25 and is the highest value item in any American preparedness kit. Buy two. Number 20. Cash in small bills matters for about 2 weeks. The card reader is a computer talking to another computer over a network. No grid, no network, no transaction. The ATM is the same problem with a safe attached. For the first 2 weeks, cash works because people still believe in it. The station owner with a hand pump, the neighbor with a freezer full of meat he needs to move, the pharmacy running a paper ledger, they all take paper money in week 1. But it has to be small. Nobody is making change for 100 on day 2. A stack of 1s, 5s, and 10s buys more in a blackout than 1,000 in 20s. Keep it split, some in the house, some in the car, some on you. Then understand the expiration date. Around week 2 or 3, if nothing has come back, the belief drains out of the paper. Argentina went from cash to barter in about a month in 2001, not by decree. People just stopped taking money for things they could not replace. Number 19. Look like nothing. The word for this is gray man, and it is the oldest survival rule in the world wearing a modern name. The goal is to be the least interesting person on the block, not the toughest, not the best equipped, the least interesting. Your house looks exactly like the 11 around it. Same dark windows, same silence. Your clothes are worn, your bag looks empty. The mistake is loud preparation, the brand new tactical vest, the generator roaring in a silent neighborhood, the guy at the water line telling everyone he has 6 months of food at home. People who lived through the siege of Sarajevo say the same thing over and over in their accounts. The ones who displayed had it taken. The ones who looked like they had nothing kept what they had. In the first 90 days, your security is not a lock or a weapon. It is being the wrong target. First pattern break. Here is where the honest part starts. Almost everything sold to Americans as preparedness is a product, not a rule. Put a freeze-dried bucket on a shelf, stamp a shelf life on it, let a man believe he bought a solution. The historical record does not care about your bucket. Read the actual accounts. Puerto Rico after Maria, where some households went 11 months without power. Sarajevo, Argentina, the Depression, New Orleans. The people who came through did not come through because of gear. They came through because of habits, information, and neighbors. The 90-day window is brutal because it is the gap, longer than a storm, shorter than an adaptation. Around week 2, the systems stop. Around week 6, the stockpile thins. Around week 10, the ones who treated survival as a shopping list learned they bought calories and did not buy competence. Number 18. Sanitation kills more people than hunger. Nobody wants to watch a video about this. But count the bodies in any collapse in history. Starvation is slow and rare. Dysentery is fast and everywhere. Haiti lost roughly 10,000 people to cholera after the 2010 earthquake. Not to the earthquake, to the water afterward. The moment the water stops, your toilet is a container, not a system. Flushing with bathtub water works until the municipal sewer loses pressure and starts backing up into the lowest fixture in your home. So you build the 2-bucket system on day 2, not day 20. 2 5-gallon buckets marked 1 for liquid, 1 for solid, a snap-on toilet seat lid, and a bag of dry cover beside it, sawdust, dry leaves, dirt, a scoop after every use. The cover kills the smell and the flies are what carry it to your food. Waste gets buried 6 to 8 inches deep, 200 feet from any water. Hands get washed after every time. Number 17, cache it, do not stack it. Here is the reason most preppers die with a full pantry. They put everything in one room, one shelf, one basement, one photograph-ready wall of number 10 cans, and a single event takes 100% of it. A fire, a flood, a burst pipe, a family member who talks, one group at the door. Diversify or die. That is the rule, and it is boring, and almost nobody does it because a scattered stash does not look impressive. Split supplies across at least 3 separate places, some in the house, some buried and sealed somewhere not obviously yours, some at a relative's 40 miles out, some in the trunk because there is a real chance you are not home when it happens. And it extends past food, documents, cash, medications. Redundancy is not paranoia. It is the recognition that you will be wrong about something and cannot know which thing. The man with a perfect one-room pantry made exactly one bet. The man with 4 ugly little caches made 4. Number 16. Top off the tank at the first flicker. Gas pumps are electric. The fuel is in the ground, thousands of gallons of it, and it cannot come up without a motor. The useful life of every station in your area is measured in hours. In every regional blackout in modern American history, the last one with backup power ran dry between 4 hours and a day and a half. So the rule is, half a tank is empty. You live at half a tank permanently, and you top off at the first sign of anything, the first flicker, the first alert, the first outage that lasts more than a few minutes. Not because you are going to run, because half a tank is 200 miles of options, and options are the one thing you cannot manufacture later. Number 15, get information, or the rumors will get you. In the first 90 days, the most dangerous thing in your neighborhood is not a stranger. It is a confident man repeating something he heard from a guy. In 1977, in 2003, in New Orleans in 2005, the rumors ran faster than the facts every single time, and rumors move people onto roads they should not be on, toward places that are not open, away from help that was actually coming. So you buy the boring thing. A hand-cranked radio with NOAA weather bands cost about $30 and needs nothing from anybody. Those transmitters run on backup power and put out verified information on a schedule. A shortwave receiver widens the picture. The question that decides most of your first week is simple. Is this my street, my city, my region, or my country? You cannot answer that from your porch. You need a radio. Number 14, your candle is a billboard. Light discipline is a phrase from military doctrine, and it applies to a cul-de-sac in Ohio exactly as hard. On a normal night, your house glows, and so do 100 others, and it means nothing. On night 9 of a total blackout, one lit window is visible for a mile, and it says one thing to everyone who sees it. That house has power, which means fuel, which means planning, which means everything else. So you black out. Heavy curtains, blankets, contractor bags taped over the glass in the one room you use. Lowest light that does the job, a headlamp on red, not a lantern. Sound carries the same way. A generator is audible for a quarter mile in a neighborhood with no traffic, no air conditioning, no televisions. Run it briefly, and run it to charge batteries rather than power a house. Your grandparents taped their windows in 1942 because of aircraft. You are doing it because of people. The technique is identical. Second pattern break. Here is something the survival industry will never say because there is no money in it. The single most protective factor in every disaster ever studied is not preparation, It is your neighbors. Sociologists studied the 1995 Chicago heat wave, which killed over 700 people in days. Two neighborhoods side by side, nearly identical on paper, same poverty, same age profile, same housing, same heat. One had a death rate many times higher. The difference was not air conditioning. It was that in one neighborhood, people knew each other's names, and somebody knocked on the door of the old man on the third floor. There is no product on earth that gives you that kind of multiplier. And yet the entire culture of American preparedness is built on the opposite instinct: the lone family, the sealed door, the stranger at the gate. It sells buckets. It does not match the data. Number 13, learn every name on your block. This week, not after. Now, while everything is fine, while it costs you nothing but the awkwardness of introducing yourself to someone you have waved at for 6 years, because after the grid goes down, you cannot build trust. You can only spend trust you already built. A stranger knocking on day 4 is a threat. A guy named Dave, whose dog you have petted for 3 years, is a resource. And so is his generator. And so is his brother, the paramedic. 40 houses contained, statistically, a nurse, a welder, an electrician, a veteran, a ham operator, somebody with a chainsaw, somebody with a truck. Alone, you have one skill set. That block has 40. So this week, 5 names. Next week, 5 more. Learn who lives alone. Learn who has medical needs. It is the cheapest preparation in existence, and almost nobody does it because it is socially uncomfortable, and buying a knife is not. Number 12, boil or bleach, and know the exact numbers. Filters clog, break, and get lost. The two methods that have never failed anybody are heat and chlorine, and both come down to numbers you should be able to recite from a dead sleep. Boiling, a rolling boil held 1 full minute, 3 minutes above 6,500 feet. Rolling boil means big breaking bubbles, not steam, not shimmer. That kills every bacterium, virus, and parasite that matters. It does not touch chemicals, lead, or salt. Heat is a biology solution, not a chemistry solution. Bleach, plain unscented household bleach at 6% sodium hypochlorite. 8 drops per gallon of clear water, 16 if it is cloudy or cold. Stir, stand 30 minutes. It should smell faintly of chlorine at the end. If it does not, dose once more, and always filter the mud out first. Muddy water eats the chlorine before it gets to the germs, and bleach degrades in 6 to 12 months, so it is a rotation item, not a storage item. Number 11. Your medications are a 90-day problem starting on day 1. This is the rule that turns a survivable event into a fatal one for millions of Americans, and it never appears on a gear list. Roughly 130 million Americans take a prescription drug, and an enormous number take one where stopping is not an inconvenience. Insulin, blood thinners, seizure medication, blood pressure, thyroid. Most are dispensed 30 days at a time, which means the average person in this country is somewhere between 1 and 30 days from a serious medical problem if the pharmacy does not open. The move is boring, and you make it now with a phone call in a normal week. Ask your doctor for a 90-day supply instead of 30. Most insurers allow it through mail order, and it is often cheaper. Ask what a safe taper looks like if you ever had to stretch. Get the answer while there is still a doctor to ask. Number 10, the barter list. Nobody actually makes. Everybody thinks about gold. Almost nobody thinks about what people actually traded in real collapses in living memory. Coffee, cigarettes, batteries, butane lighters, $1 each, and the most reliable fire technology ever built. Salt, sugar, toilet paper, tampons, antibiotic ointment, painkillers, soap, duct tape, needles and thread, reading glasses, whiskey, which is medicine, anesthetic, currency, and morale. Everyone is small, cheap, shelf-stable, and desperately wanted by somebody by week 6. In Sarajevo, cigarettes and coffee were the working currency of a city of 300,000 for nearly 4 years. Not gold. Gold is a store of value. In a crisis, people do not want value. They want relief. Now the more important half of the rule. Never barter food, never barter weapons, and never let anyone see the size of the pile you are trading from. The moment you trade food, You have told a hungry man that you have food. The transaction ends and the problem begins. Number 9. Calories in month 1. Nutrition by month 2. For the first weeks, the only number that matters is calories. An adult hauling water and cutting wood burns 2,500 to 3,500 a day, far more than people estimate. This is not the moment for a diet. But around day 45 to 60, a second clock starts, and this one got sailors for 300 years. A diet of white rice, pasta, flour, and canned meat has almost no vitamin C. The body stores maybe 30 to 90 days worth. After that comes scurvy, bleeding gums, wounds that will not close, old injuries, reopening, crushing fatigue. It killed more sailors than every naval battle in history combined. The fix costs nothing. Pine needle tea from young green needles, steeped, not boiled, carries real vitamin C. So do dandelion greens and rose hips. And sprouted beans generate it during germination, which means a jar, a square of cheesecloth, and a handful of lentils from your own pantry is a vitamin factory needing no soil, no sun, and no grid. Number 8. Traveling is the most dangerous thing you will do. Every account from every collapse agrees, and almost every movie disagrees, which is why people get it wrong. You are not safer on the road. On the road, you have no walls, no cash, no neighbors, no water, no idea what is around the bend, and everything you own is on your back, announcing itself. Home is boring, and boring is the point, so the default is stay. You leave only for a specific named better place, an address, a plan somebody on the other end agreed to, never for a direction. We are going north is not a plan. We are going to my sister's in Bowling Green. She is expecting us, and here are 3 routes is a plan. If you do move, go at the boring hours. Early morning, go light. Take the small roads. The people who did best in Puerto Rico's 11 months were the ones who stayed put and fixed their block. Third pattern break. Here's what actually happens to a person around week 6, and no gear list on earth prepares you for it. The adrenaline is gone. The novelty is gone. The neighborly good feeling of week 1, the shared grill, the block party mood of an emergency, that is gone too. What is left is a gray, exhausting sameness. Cold food, dirty clothes, bad sleep, no news, no end date. That is the killer. Not hunger, not violence. Attrition. People stop boiling their water because it takes 20 minutes and they are tired. People stop covering their waste because who cares? People stop washing their hands. People stop talking. And every one of those small surrenders is the mechanism by which someone with a full pantry ends up in serious trouble on day 70. Number 7. Cook once, eat 3 times. Fuel is finite, and everybody underestimates what cooking costs. Every meal cooked separately burns propane, wood, or charcoal you cannot replace. So you stop cooking meals and start cooking days. 1 fire, 1 pot, in the morning. Enough for 3 meals. And here is the technique your great-grandmother had and you do not. Retained heat cooking. The hay box. Bring the pot to a hard boil for 10 or 15 minutes, just long enough to get everything up to temperature, then take it off the fire, lid on, and bury it in insulation. A cooler packed with towels, a cardboard box stuffed with newspaper or straw, a sleeping bag. The pot keeps cooking 4 to 6 hours on stored heat, using 0 additional fuel. Beans, rice, stew, oats, anything that wants a long simmer wants a hay box. It was standard equipment in American farm kitchens and in wartime Europe, and it cuts cooking fuel by 60 to 80%, $0. And on day 60, when your propane is gone and your neighbor's is too, it is the difference between hot food and cold cans. Number 6, write it down. Get a notebook and a pencil, not a pen. Pencils work wet, work cold, and never dry out. Every day, you write the date, the weather, what you ate, what you used up, what you heard on the radio and from whom, who came by, what broke, and how much water is left. This looks like busy work. It is 3 tools wearing 1 disguise. First, it is inventory. Memory is a liar under stress, and the number 1 way people run out of things is that they were sure they had more. Second, it is intelligence. 3 weeks of time-stamped notes is a picture, and a picture lets you decide instead of guess. Third, and nobody expects this one, it is morale. Writing down that you split wood and boiled 10 gallons and fixed the fence is proof, in your own handwriting, that today was not nothing. In a stretch of gray days, the mind starts to believe it is accomplishing nothing, and that belief is how people quit. The notebook argues back. Number 5, build a schedule, or the days will eat you. Structure is not a comfort. It is a load-bearing wall. The reason 90 days breaks people is that time turns to mush. No work, no commute, no school, nothing telling you it is 8 o'clock. Just light, then dark, then light. And a human being without markers loses the ability to sequence, plan, and care. So, you impose it. Wake at the same hour, water duty in the morning while it is cool, food next, repairs midday. Everybody has a job, especially the kids, because a 9-year-old with a real assigned task is a 9-year-old who is not terrified. Then you build in the thing that feels frivolous and is not. Rituals, coffee at the same time, even bad coffee. A meal at a table, not standing at a counter. Sunday means something, a story read aloud. Every account from Sarajevo has this in it. People held dinner parties in a besieged city with one shared candle. They were not being brave, they were being practical. Number 4, the rule from 1962 that got quietly deleted. In the early 1960s, the federal government mailed millions of American families civil defense pamphlets, and the guidance said the same thing over and over. Keep 2 weeks of food and water on hand, 14 days. It was printed on posters in school gymnasiums and handed out at post offices. Somewhere in the decades after, that number quietly became 72 hours, 3 days. That is the standard emergency kit sold at any big box store today, the little red backpack. And the reason is not that the world got safer, it is behavioral. Agencies learned that when you ask people for 2 weeks, they do nothing at all. And when you ask for 3 days, some fraction complies. 72 hours is a compromise with human nature, not an assessment of risk. Nature does not negotiate. Maria was not a 72-hour event. Parts of Puerto Rico waited most of a year. Uri was not. Sandy was not. Katrina was not. Your grandparents were told 2 weeks plainly, and they generally had it, because a pantry with 2 weeks in it was simply what a house had. We got a supermarket on every corner, and we sold that habit for shelf space. Number 3, teeth, feet, hands. Here's how it actually goes wrong at day 50 for a healthy, well-supplied person. Not a raider, not starvation, an abscessed molar. Without a dentist, a dental infection is not a bad week. It is a spreading infection in your jaw with a direct path to your bloodstream. And before antibiotics, it killed a meaningful share of the people who got one. So you brush every day with baking soda if the toothpaste is gone. You floss. When it feels absurd, you do it anyway. Feet next. The moment you lose your car, you are infantry, and infantry are destroyed by their feet. Wet socks for days is trench foot, and trench foot took more men out of the line in 1917 than bullets did some months. Dry socks, rotated, blisters covered before they open, hands last, and hands are the highest frequency risk in the house. Every stomach illness in a grid-down neighborhood traces back to hands. Soap, a trickle of water, 20 seconds after the bucket and before food. Small, boring daily. That is the whole of medicine when there is no medicine. Number 2, have one thing you can actually do. Stuff runs out. Skill does not. On day 70, a neighborhood does not need another guy with a rifle. It needs somebody who can weld, somebody who can close a wound, somebody who can fix a small engine, splice a wire, deliver a baby, put up a season of tomatoes without a freezer, run a ham radio, or grow a garden that actually produces. That person eats. That person gets protected. That person never has to argue for their place because their place is obvious to everyone around them. And a skill is the only preparedness item that cannot be stolen, cannot spoil, and gets bigger every year you own it. So pick one this year that your grandparents had and you do not. Canning, wiring, suturing, radio, engines, gardening. Take the free class at the extension office, the fire station, the community college. Then use it on a normal Saturday until it lives in your hands instead of in a video you watched once. A pantry makes you a survivor for 90 days. A skill makes you necessary. Number 1, nobody makes it alone. Every version of the fantasy Americans have been sold, the man, the cabin, the rifle, the door, is fiction, and the historical record is not ambiguous. One person cannot pull a 24-hour watch. One person cannot get sick. One person cannot break an ankle. One person cannot haul water, cut wood, cook, guard, garden, repair, and sleep. One person has one skill set and one bad day between them and the end. Every group that came through a long collapse came through as a group, families, blocks, congregations. It was never the lone wolf, because the lone wolf is a story we tell each other. And in the real world, he dies of a cut on his hand in week 7 with a beautiful pantry behind him. So the last rule and the first rule are the same rule. Find your people before you need them. Learn the names. Share a meal. Show up when Dave's tree comes down, because you want Dave showing up when yours does. Build the thing that scales, not a bunker, a block. Chicago's heat wave, Maria's 11 months, Sarajevo's 4 years. The survivors all had the same asset, and it did not come in a bucket. It was somebody knocking on the door to see if they were still alive. Here is my challenge. Pick one and do it this week. Just one. Fill a case of jugs. Learn 5 neighbors' names. Ask your doctor for a 90-day script. Buy the $25 carbon monoxide detector. Drop the one you picked in the comments, because I want to know if the water heater trick gets more love than the 2-week rule. Then ask your grandparents what they kept in the pantry and why. I think you already know what they are going to say.